Hello, welcome to my garden. So I've just been picking tulips to show you my favourite varieties that I'm growing this year, because there's nothing more cheerful than picking flowers for your home, is there? And last year I grew dahlias in a raised bed that I'd made, and I pulled the dahlias out in the autumn to store them over the winter, and then planted it full with tulip and daffodil bulbs. And so it's an absolute mass of colour and flowers at the minute, which is really lovely. And so I'm going to show you my favourites that I'm growing. First of all is this beautiful mix of colours. I just love how rich and velvety some of the darker ones are. The darkest one I'm growing is called Continental, which is gorgeous and velvety and goes really beautifully with paler colours. It's a lovely contrast, so it goes really lovely with apricots and pinks. So this one is Apricot Beauty, and they look lovely together. This Apricot Beauty comes quite a lovely soft apricot colour when it comes out, and as it ages it goes this really soft pink, like these ones as they age. And I picked these for the home because they were nearly going over, but they were looking so beautiful and sculptural that I had to pick them. And normally if you pick tulips as cut flowers, you want to pick them when they're in a bit of a tighter bud and haven't completely opened yet, and then you'll get the longest vase life for them. And just keep them in a out of direct sunlight in the home, and they'll last really long for you. So what else have we got here? This is another rich one that is new for me this year, called National Velvet. I couldn't resist it for the name because one of my favourite children's books was National Velvet, about a horse. And again, it goes really beautifully with sort of soft pinks and apricots as well. And when the sun hits it, it really glows. So it's not a sort of in-your-face red, it's a lovely artistic deep red. And then I've got one. This one I actually grew last year, and some of them have come back in my flower bed. This one is called Afka, and it's really elegant and delicate, and this lovely subtle but deep pink, and is coped really well with the weather and goes really beautifully with the darker tones as well. So those are all single tulips. I've then been growing this year, the first time growing double tulips, and they're from the peony group. And the first one, if I can get them out of the vase, I just picked them. So, of course, if you're doing them as cut flowers, you want to remove all the leaves when you put them in the vase for keeping them in the home. But this beautiful double tulip is called La Belle Epoque, and it's really unusual. It's got so many different shades in it, from soft sort of butterscotchy colours and deep subtle pinks, and it's just a real beauty. And the other double tulip is Angelique, which I've been really looking forward to seeing. It's such a romantic looking tulip, really soft pale pink, and it's actually got touches of deeper pink inside. It has a very subtle scent which you don't always think of for tulips, and I think if you bring it indoors that the scent will get more. And oh, it almost looks like a rose and a peony, and that's really lovely. And then I've got another double tulip to come out called Renown Unique, but that's a later flowering one. And double tulips are actually sterile tulips, so they're not so good for the bees. So you want to grow some bee-friendly flowers nearby them just to help the bees that extra bit. But because of them being sterile, they actually last 2 times as long, both in the ground and in pots and in the vase. So that's really fabulous for using them as cut flowers and just enjoying in the garden. I've got pots full of tulips and flower beds with tulips, and then my cut flower patch. So it's been fun to trial them in different areas, and they've actually all been really coping well with the weather because we've had so much rain this spring, and they've all been doing really well. So that's been encouraging. If you like a slightly bolder, brighter pinky red, this one I actually grew last year, and some of them have come back in the flower bed behind me. It's called Pink Impression. I think it's verging on the red, and when the sun hits them they open really big, so it's a much larger tulip, but that's great fun as well. And put that there. And if you love subtle whites and creams, and also are looking for tulips that are more perennial, because not all tulips will come back for a second year like daffodils would, but there are some tulips that are known to be perennial and keep bulking up each year and coming back. The first one is Purissima, which is a very well-known tulip, and they're absolutely amazing. They've been flowering for I think over a month now, and they're this subtle whitish cream. When the sun hits them they're almost verging on pale yellow cream, and when the sun hits them they open into these amazing big goblets of tulips with this bright yellow centre in the middle, which attracts the pollinators. And but then in the mornings they close up, so they're really elegant, and a little bit of a scent as well, and but they look really gorgeous in a border sort of en masse. And I've had them in pots as well, and as I say, they've done really well. They're really sturdy. And this is another one that is perennial. It's called Spring Green, and it's from the Fosteriana group, where they all have this sort of green stripe on the petals, and that's an indication that they're perennial as well. This is a later flowering one than the Purissima. So I've had this one for over a month, and then this one started coming out this week. We're now coming to the end of April, but these are really, they've got a really elegant shape to them as well. Also, if you're looking for a perennial tulip that's mauvey purple rich colour, then I've heard that Negrita is a really good one as well. I haven't yet tried that in my garden, but that's worth trying as well. Also, if you're looking for a much smaller tulip that you'd like to naturalize in your lawn or in flower beds, and you'd like it to come back each year, then the very small botanical tulips would be great for that. So hope you've enjoyed seeing all my favourites and it's given you some inspiration for what you'd like to grow in your garden, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!